Here with Professor Rodrigo Ramalho from University of Auckland in New Zealand. Thank you for talking with us, Professor. And I'd like you to tell us about the phases of a disaster. So maybe most of us are familiar with the phases of grief, but the phases of disaster was a new learning for me. If you could please elaborate on that.
No, 100%. So basically this is a concept that was developed by two authors, Zunin and Myers, and what they propose is the fact that there are some phases that happened after a disaster. Of course, they also include a pre-disaster phase, but what they propose is that in the immediate aftermath of a disaster, there is a heroic phase where adrenaline is running high and people are emboldened and to take action, to help. That is followed by a honeymoon phase where the adrenaline is down, but people are still very optimistic about the steps that they're taking for to help themselves and their communities in the immediate intermediate phases of a disaster. That is followed by disillusionment phase, where people start realizing that recovery or adaptation or reconstruction is going to take time. And at times this disillusionment gets worse, for example, when there is an anniversary of the disaster, and people are reminded of the fact that there is still a lot of work to do and things that originally were thought that would already have happened have not happened yet. But at the end, the phases end with reconstruction or recovery or adaptation, where people just accept the fact that reconstruction takes time, but put their energy into it. These phases present the idea potentially that there is a linear, they present this linear idea of what happens after a disaster. But I would also like to introduce the idea of the management cycle. We talked about a disaster. After the disaster, there is a response, but it is a cycle. The response is followed by a recovery phase, then a mitigation phase where people start to prepare for the possibility of the next disaster, and that is followed specifically by the preparedness phase. And this is a cycle as a circle, which highlights the fact that this is not linear because disasters unfortunately tend to happen again. So it is important not just to recover and respond to a disaster, but also to prepare for the next disaster as well. So yes, not just linear, but keep in mind that it can be a cycle as well.
Perfect, Professor. Thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you. Thanks.